One thing that's worse than a bad busker, it's a loud bad busker. So yeah, I seem to always have them outside of Woolworths. And it's weird, that price of $35 I was charged for the old London. Anyway, the gin yesterday was actually, it was 30, it's listed as 33 online, so I don't know what the story is there. Could be just supermarkets gouging as usual. I seem to love that. They're really into it at the moment. So at least the PJs is open. They're shut on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at the moment. That seems to be the rotation, so I'll pop in there. I've got my discount card, I've got my other card, so I'm ready to go and celebrate the fact I'm not in Melbourne anymore. Thank God for that. Yeah, I suppose the pubs are closed again. God, that must really be pissing people off down there. Just went into PJs and it was pretty quiet actually. I was the only person sitting at the bar on that side. There were a few people playing pool, I think. And there was a blast from the past. I think it was Sally, one of the old managers, is back. My understanding was she went to Darwin, but she seems to have come back. Didn't say hello to me, but she said hello to some of the other people, so I didn't want to push it. So yeah, apparently the pier is now open 7 days a week, but the no PJs, it's been quieter apparently, so it's a business decision. That's fair enough. It's Friday 12:30 and quite a nice day apart from the constant breeze, which is okay, except it's just the filming, it bugs me. It's pleasant enough. I actually took the plunge and actually rang up the ATO today because I was getting very frustrated trying to finish my review, my tax return, I should say. Review? I don't know where we got that from. Anyway, yeah, I rang them up. I didn't expect to get through. I thought it'd be like ringing Centrelink, and especially this time of year, I thought, oh, come on, there's no way I'm going to get through to the ATO. Have to probably wait on the line for a half hour to an hour if I'm lucky. But as it turned out, I rang about 8:30 and I pretty well got through instantaneously, so that was amazing. And I finally got through to the capital gains area because that's the issue I'm having with my tax return. It's just an individual return. It's not particularly complicated, it's just about shares, but you've just got to fill in the form, and I wasn't 100% sure how to do it online. And the guy took me right through it. He got my tax file number and followed through with my actual return, and he figured there's a couple of fields I hadn't filled in because my capital gains was just slightly too high. It wasn't big, but just if it goes over a certain amount, then you have to fill in another form or something. And it was $100 or so over that limit, so it was just snuck over. So it's really annoying. But last time this happened, I had to get a tax agent to do it, which cost me more. And the tax agent gave me a hard time. You know, they wanted a lot of details that I never had to provide directly to ATO when I did my own return. So that was annoying. But yeah, very happy I got it. I got onto him. Like I say, it was a real pleasant surprise, and the guy was quite good to deal with too. Yeah, so it was all round. It was beyond my expectations. I didn't expect that from government. So kudos where kudos is earned. Yeah, the weather was terrible when I woke up today. It was raining and overcast, and it's turned out to be quite a nice day. Feeling like crap though. I don't know what happened last night. Maybe I just had too much of that cheap gin. I had a pint of Guinness at PJ's, and that went down okay. The Irish guy serving was good. He's okay. I've seen him before, and yeah, he was fine. Actually, he told me that Guinness there costs around the same as here. It's $10 for a Guinness. I get a 20% discount because I've got a member's card, so that's good. I pay $8 for a pint of Guinness, but 10 is the normal rate, and it's about the same apparently in Dublin. So that's not bad considering you're so far away, but they obviously send out concentrates of it, and add water in Australia, and you've got yourself the brew here. But yeah, he was an interesting guy to talk to. He was going to go down to Melbourne, but obviously can't do it right now. And he said the PJ's in South Bank is closed. So I feel sorry for people in Melbourne. You see the pictures of like the Grave Street in the centre of the city, near where I used to have my apartment, a few blocks down the road, just empty. No custom whatsoever. I think it's insane. The whole thing's damn insane. But I think it's a combination of a few things: an overreaction by the government or governments, but incompetence also by Daniel Andrews. He's had a couple of scandals down there. One of them was the Black Lives Matter demonstration, allowing that after all of the instructions of how we have to stay at home. It's amazing the hypocrisy of these people. And on top of that, you had scandals with the hotel. It was supposed to be a quarantine hotel where people were actually, the people supposedly supervising the quarantine were taking out people who were staying there and going out and partying. I mean, the whole thing was an absolute disgrace, a total farce. I don't know. Hopefully Victorians eventually will wake up from their slumber and get rid of Daniel Andrews. I don't know. I can't gauge them. I can't work out if the normal things that affect people in other electorates don't seem to wash in Victoria. It seems like it's just so hard left these days that they're beyond hope. The whole place would have to be totally trashed before they'll do anything. It's like the west coast of the US and places like New York as well. These people, the middle class, are actually leaving. The affluent upper middle class are leaving places like New York in droves. So the tax base is being eroded. It's really killing the economy. And the same thing's happening in the west coast as well, especially in a place like Seattle, where you had that Jenny Durkin. What an absolute dropkick. She's caused so much strife with her Summer of Love BS. We really have a leadership deficit in the world at the moment. There was a backlash against authoritarian leaders in the past, but now we've just got wishy-washy leaders who are hypocrites, spineless, and just won't make the right decision on behalf of the majority of people. They're very easily swayed by loud voices from extreme ends of the political spectrum, and that's not good. That's why it was so nice to see that they finally got rid of the bats here, because you've got fruitcakes sort of like the Friends of the Flying Foxes, these sort of pressure groups. They're fanatics. They'll just, as far as they're concerned, they're like sacred cows. They're the equivalent of Australia's are sacred cows, the flying foxes. Well, they call them flying foxes, is a much more palatable name than bats, which is what they are. They're just fruit bats. And I think it's great they're gone. I think it's really good, because it was a blight on the CBD, in my opinion. And I think the majority of people will be happy they're gone, but of course council will hear the loudest voices will come from these nutters. It's like Extinction Rebellion, another group of nutters I mentioned in the previous video. These people just get far too much influence, and we need a new breed of politician who can just tell them to rack off. That's why I love Trump. He's got all the money. He's got FU money, as they say. They say the same thing about J.K. Rowling. She's all this absurdity about, she's just arguing about the reality of biological males and females. Common sense, in other words, and science. But she's left of centre, but she was being attacked. They're eating their own now, that's the thing. But Trump is a beacon of light in a land of absolute morons. There's just so many people who have been indoctrinated at universities and having their views reinforced through a biased press. It's a very sad situation. This is the sort of thing that happened in the Dark Ages. Science was given the flick. It's all about ideologies. That seems to be what's happening again. It's very dangerous. Not a good situation at all. I do worry about the future in that respect, because I think standards are going to drop in areas like the science. Once politics becomes pervasive, it can cause a lot of damage. You know, I come back to the obvious. Wouldn't you rather have a merit-based air traffic controller looking after your plane as it's landing, rather than someone who's been shoved in because there's quotas and political correctness pushing them ahead of someone with more competency? That's a classic example of it. Or let's say a surgeon. I want the surgeon to be best qualified, not whether they're from a particular minority group. It's just insane. What is so bad with meritocracy, for God's sake? It's a bizarre world we live in. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.